Hi, you're listening to the Content Sells Podcast, the show all about how to create content to attract, convert, and keep your ideal clients. Welcome to episode 265. I'm Suzi Dafnis. Here with me is my co-host, Michelle Falzon. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, Suzi, I am doing great, and I am very excited to talk about attracting the right leads in today's show.
Absolutely, me too. Because we know whenever we survey our audience about their marketing challenges, generating enough leads and sales comes up as one of the top challenges every single time. And it can be easy to assume that the problem is your marketing funnel or your ads or your content or even your sales skills. But what we want to explore today is actually a different idea. What if the real issue isn't how you're marketing, but who you're marketing to? What if you're attracting the wrong leads?
Big question. And that's what we're unpacking in this episode, because when you're not attracting the right people into your world, the ones who are truly ready and aligned with your offers, even the best strategy isn't going to get traction. Even the best copy isn't going to get the right people into your world. So today we're going to walk you through three things: the real cost of attracting the wrong leads, and it's bigger than most people think. 2, how to spot the signs that this might be happening in your business, which is so helpful to know. And 3, and what to do instead to start attracting more of your ideal clients, the ones who value what you do, take action, and buy from you over and over again.
And this is such an important topic, especially if you've been feeling like your marketing is almost working, but it's not quite clicking. Because there's a very real cost to attracting the wrong leads. Bringing in the wrong leads into your business actually also creates a ripple effect. It impacts everything: your energy, your time, your confidence, your love for what you do, your revenue, and your long-term sustainability. So, for example, you are likely to burn out faster because wrong fit leads often need more hand-holding, more explaining, they complain more, they need more chasing, and that can be exhausting, especially when you're already doing all the things in your business.
Yeah, that is so true. And you can also tend more so to over-deliver and undercharge because you're trying to make it work with people who aren't really ready or who don't truly value what you offer or can't see. They're not at the stage where they can see how good it is that, you know, what you're giving to them. So you throw in extras, you drop your price, you extend the time that they can work with you, and suddenly the whole model for your business feels heavy and all the profit sort of drains away as well. Another ripple effect we see is people diluting their offers and their messaging. And this is so common. We try to appeal to everyone because we've got this, you know, motley crew of people in our community, and we start second guessing ourselves. Oh, maybe I need a lower price version because somebody complained about the price, or maybe I should offer this other thing because somebody said they don't know how to do that and it's stopping them from implementing this course that I'm teaching. And before long, you're building a business around misalignment, and that ain't helping anybody, right? We need alignment to really thrive. And that's when you can fall into the trap of fixing the wrong thing. You think it's your funnel, so you rebuild it, or your webinar, so you rewrite it, or your email sequence, so you tweak the subject lines. But the real issue could be that you are calling in the wrong people in the first place.
Exactly. And that leads to wasted marketing spend, the money that you're spending. So you're running ads or building an email list that doesn't convert, not because your content's bad, but because it's attracting people who were never going to buy from you. And one of the roughest consequences is that you start to lose faith and you start to lose momentum. You start feeling like you're doing a lot of work but not moving forward. And launching feels like a grind. Content creation feels like a chore. You're putting in so much effort and it's just not flowing or translating into wins. And that can really shake your confidence. And all that means your business is stuck underperforming, making it hard for you to reach your income or impact potential. Not because you're not good enough, not because your offer isn't solid, but because you are talking to the wrong people. Which is why this next part in this episode is so important. We're going to walk you through some key indicators that will help you spot if you're attracting the wrong leads in your business.
Right. And even if one or two of these things are showing up in your business, there's a good chance you've got some misalignment in your lead generation. So let's take a look at what these themes and these factors are, and then we'll share what you can do if you are attracting the wrong leads right now. And the first clue that you might be attracting the wrong leads is low conversion rates. And what's a conversion rate? Well, Basically, you're getting people signing up for your free stuff or coming along to sales calls, but they're not converting when it comes to buy. The percentage of people that are saying yes to you from the number of people that you're sort of pitching your offer to is low. And this can be a sneaky one because on the surface, things can look like they're working. Oh, I'm getting lots of people opting in and signing up. My social posts are getting likes or shares. But when it comes to actual sales, your conversion rate is low. The number of leads converting to sales is a small percentage.
Exactly. And maybe people are downloading your lead magnet, but they don't take the next step and opt in for your free webinar, or they don't book a call with you, or they show up to your webinar and then they say, thank you very much, and they disappear. Or they get on a call with you and give you a bunch of reasons why they can't take action right now. They tell you they love what you do, but they don't have the money or the time or whatever. They don't take the next step. Now, that's a sign that you might be attracting tire kickers, people who are interested in a topic but have no intent to buy.
Right. And this, like we said, can be a really sneaky thing because, isn't any lead a good lead? No, it's not. And
it can feel like it is, right?
Right. Yes. When you have that sort of front-facing kind of attitude, like, oh, first I've just got to grow the lead bucket and then I'll figure out what to do with them, that disconnect is really a problem. And we saw this, and we see this all the time with the women we support. So, for example, a masterminder, Alison Vidotto, when she kind of came to us and said, I've got this great speaking invitation. I've been invited to speak at this big event. And maybe you're listening going, oh, I get those, or I'd like to get those. But if we hadn't helped her sort of talk that opportunity through, she would not have realized actually that is going to be a room full of people who are not your clients, who will never go on to buy the thing you're ultimately selling. She would have flown across the country on her own dime, by the way, taken a lot of her time, invested in, creating a lead magnet, done the presentation, got all dressed up, put lipstick on, all the things, and, collected a bunch of leads that were not her people. But she might have done all of that without sort of the conversation with us and thought, I'm doing it. I'm doing all the right things. And look, I got 50 leads. And we can get excited about speaking, about the invitation. Maybe it's a great kind of thing for our ego or our confidence or whatever. But who's in the room? And it's not just speaking, but that's kind of an example of the sort of sneaky ways that we can get this misaligned group of people into our funnels, into our sales conversations, and think we're making progress and we're not.
Right. Another one could be someone says, oh, let's do a strategic alliance, but there's that not the right people. It's like, do you want those people on your email list coming to your webinar, visiting your store, coming to your e-commerce sale? So that is a great example. Another sign that you're attracting the wrong leads is if you're feeling an emotional drain or an energetic mismatch when you interact with your prospects. Now, I have experienced this. It often shows up as dread, or you're avoiding sales calls, or you finally make the sale and the client is such hard work. Or perhaps you're regularly fielding constant emails, late night messages, asking for a quick favor, dealing with clients who are demanding or have unrealistic expectations. That is a sign that they are the wrong lead.
Yeah, and it's not just energy draining, which I totally agree. I've felt that same dread you're talking about. You can find yourself, and this is the worst consequence, I think, you can find yourself pulling back or even censoring parts of yourself in your content or how you're showing up because you aren't working with people who appreciate your talents or that you even like working with. And that's a sure sign you're attracting the wrong leads into your world.
Eek. The next indication that you are likely attracting the wrong leads is audience fragmentation, and I'll explain that. So you've got a real mixed bag of people on your email list. There's no real clarity about the types of people that you're attracting. And this is happening when your email list starts to feel cluttered and a little bit chaotic. So you've got people from different niches, different business stages, different skill levels, different interests. And now it's hard to create marketing emails that are relevant to the specific needs and challenges of your audience because they are so varied. Now, this applies if you're building an audience of followers on social media as well, and it's a mixed bag. And audience fragmentation can also show up if you are getting confusing feedback. Some people want to see deeper content from you. Some want their beginner tips. And you feel pulled in different directions. And it can be so hard to create messages and products and services that resonate and get results when this confusion exists.
Oh my gosh, so confusing and demoralizing and expensive and not getting the results, all the things. And another sign, like we're just going to give you a few signs here, just be listening out for the ones that are relating to you. Another sign you might be attracting the wrong leads is if you're getting a lot of sales and pricing resistance. If you're hearing, I can't afford it, a lot, or if you feel like you have to explain and justify your price every time, that could be a sign you're attracting people who don't value what you offer, or those people who want what you deliver, but they just don't have the budget. Now, sometimes it is your sales skills and you need to get better at overcoming objections. We can have the right person and still hear that objection. But there's a difference. There are people who just cannot buy this thing, or they're giving you really confusing like for example, we would never take someone into the mastermind if it was going to put them in financial jeopardy, right? And so this can often show up, though, for you when you're in that bind as being afraid to raise your prices, even when you need to, because you're not confident your audience will pay, which means you can get into this vicious cycle of undercharging and over-delivering, constantly trying to please people. And hey, people pleasers out there, this is such a trap, who you may never really be in the position to please. Trying to please the unpleasable. And it can also mean you're doing a lot of explaining during the sales conversation, and you're seeing, even though you're doing all of this, those prospective clients are still not getting it.
Yeah. And we've had this instance, we attract women who they have an idea for a business, they hope to have a business, or they might be in a corporate job. And I'm very clear in saying, we're not for you. We're not for you, because I made that mistake many times. And it's like the misalignment is what you mentioned earlier. So let's look at the contrast to when you have the right leads. The sales process can feel like it's in flow and that you're in sync with your prospective clients. There's a totally different feel to a sales conversation when you are talking to your ideal client. There's an alignment. But another factor that lets you know that you're attracting the wrong leads is that you feel that you've outgrown your audience. So maybe they were the right kind of leads in the past, but now you've changed, and what you want to be working on and who you want to be working with and what you want to deliver is different. And this happened for me in recent years with her business. I just felt like I really wanted to work with women who are at a more advanced stage in their business, a more established stage. And for many years, I had a passion for helping all women business owners, from those who had an idea, who are just getting started, to people who had side hustles, and even one point, women who were working in large organizations. But then my goals and my preferences changed. And you need to be prepared to recalibrate your lead generation and your messaging, your offers when that happens. Otherwise, if you ignore those feelings and preferences, you can find yourself stuck in the past, building offers to match your audience instead of building an audience that you really want to work with and having that match your offers. And there is no way to create a business and life you love if you are doing that, if you are not appealing to what you truly want.
I love that word, recalibrate. Like, we do need to be prepared to recalibrate. I was serving these people, now I'm changing. And I completely agree. Marketing is actually a great way to create the business you want. I think it's one of the central ways to create the business and life you love, to use your words. And making sure you're attracting the right leads for the things you want to sell and do and deliver on is absolutely the crux of our marketing. It's the lifeblood, getting those people in to our webinars and our sales conversations and so on. Excuse me. Otherwise, over time, you can begin to feel out of integrity with your own marketing. And this can happen. And we can feel disconnected from the people we're serving because that's not where our heart or our interest or our passion is anymore. Another sign you're probably attracting leads who are not right for your business goals is if you're experiencing messaging clarity and positioning gaps. Like it's hard to explain what you do, or you find you have to explain it from 10 different perspectives. You're spending too much time trying to get your point across. Right. Or you find yourself speaking in these broad motherhood statements because you're speaking so broadly instead of sharing something of real value and depth. Or, you see sometimes people say, now, if you happen to be an accountant or a homemaker or a gym owner, or you're looking to grow your confidence, or you want to know how to pass your next driving test, come along and listen to me, It can also show up as over-teaching in your content because you've got to come at it from so many different perspectives for it to land for this fragmented audience you have. It can also mean your content voice shifts from campaign to campaign, like, oh, I'm going to speak to this little subgroup, and then I'm going to, in the next campaign, speak to that little subgroup, or even from email to email, make it really hard to create a defined, powerful and consistent voice and presence in your marketing.
I'm lots of mms coming out of this side of the room. So if you have spotted one or more of those things happening in your business, no need to panic. It's actually a really powerful moment, because now that you have the awareness, you can start making a shift to the types of leads that you're attracting. And it doesn't have to mean a complete business overhaul. Often it's just a few intentional changes that can make a big difference in the quality of leads you're attracting. So let's talk about where to focus if you are attracting the wrong type of leads right now. And the first and most important place is to clearly define your ideal client. And I say it that way because it's a lesson that Michelle and I are always trying to bring home, is really understanding your ideal client. This is foundational. You might think you're already clear on your ideal client. Suzi, I've been doing this for a long time, but clarity around ideal client is not a one-time exercise. It's something you revisit again and again, especially as your offers and your business evolve. And what we see all the time is that when someone's content feels vague, or if their leads feel scattered, it's usually because they've lost touch with who they're actually trying to attract. So take the time to ask yourself, who do I really want more of in my world? Who energizes me? Who gets results and values the way that I work? Who are the clients who are way less hassle and less cost to serve? Who are the clients that are easy to find and who can pay for, they can afford my services?
Such good questions. And yeah, you're right. We have to keep re-asking ourselves those questions. And then once you've done that, once you've kind of started finding your way into it, you want to document who that person is. So it's not just thinking a thought exercise, oh, who is my ideal client? Let's get that down on paper, in a document, in a whiteboard, something you look at every day. Somewhere this needs to be documented. What are their demographics, their age? Where do they live? What kind of job do they have? Or what sort of business do they run? What sort of industry are they in? What are some of their, what's sometimes referred to as psychographics? Like, what are the core problems they want to solve? What's worrying them? What's keeping them up at night? What are their main objections to the solution you're offering? And what are the specific challenges related to the solution that you're offering? And so on. And the clearer and more specific you can be in how you document what you put on that page, the stronger your marketing will be and the higher your conversion rates will be as well. Because now you're starting to get to the nitty-gritty of who this person is, and you can speak directly to that challenge instead of those broad motherhood statements that we were talking about before. And you can do what you were saying, Suzi, about finding your way into the business you love and solving the problems you've really got a natural talent or a unique skill set for, and carving out your place in the market. And this is exactly what has happened with the most wonderful Angela Council from Embrace Menopause. And she's a person who's been in our marketing success mastermind for a number of years. And we've just seen her business grow and grow and grow, and become more of the business she loves and create the life she loves. And she started, when she thought about who she served, she's a naturopath, and she's got a lot of skills and credentials. And she kind of was, really probably at the very beginning as a naturopath, you put your shingle out and you serve all the people. And then you realize, well, actually, I really like serving women. And then for Angela, it was like, you know what? I am at a stage in my life where I've got all this insight and expertise and this very unique process for thriving in menopause. So now I want to work not with everybody and not just with all women. I want to work with women who are experiencing menopause symptoms and want to thrive in menopause. So getting narrower and narrower, more specific. And then what she did was she said, you know what? I realize I want to work with women with menopause who do not want hormone replacement therapy. So she went even more niched. And this took place over a period of time. And that's what you may find as well. Like you were saying, Suzi, this isn't a one and done exercise where you define your client and go, whammo, bammo, there we go. And so this was the thing that really started to get her noticed. It was the thing that made it clear for some women, oh, that's exactly what I've been looking for. But for others, oh no, well, she's not what I'm looking for. And either one of those things is fine, right? So you want to think of this person that you really want to be mostly for as like the bow of the boat. She's the one that you are creating your lead magnet for, your ads for, you're speaking about most predominantly in your social media or if you do videos and so on. She's the bow of the boat. And when you look at a boat, that pointy end is kind of what cuts through the water. It's what gets you the traction and gets you seen and gets you movement. And then there'll still be others in your world that aren't exactly perfectly that ideal client who will come along in the draft. And if you've ever been in a boat and you've seen like the dolphins coming along in the draft of the boat, like people get brought along with your marketing who may not be exactly the right client, but they might be aspiring to be that client, or they're responding to the message that you've shared. And so they've got more of a chance of being your right fit client today or tomorrow or next year than that random messaging you might be putting out there right now. So you want to create your lead magnets, your ads, your content around the bow of the boat, who that person is. Are they the beginner? Or are they the more advanced person? Are they the woman starting her business or the woman that's been in business for a long time and has hit a certain revenue point? Are they the people who are growing a team from 7 to 10 people, as we were just talking with one of our masterminders the other day about getting really specific? Or are they in a business where they've got 50 people and they're trying to get to 100, or then they need to get to 100 people and the problems they're managing are so very different? And we have a great episode. I mean, Ideal Client is our jam, like Suzi said. And we could go on, but I want to just direct you now to another episode on your ideal client. It's one of our earliest ever episodes, which shows just how important this is to us. And we'll include a link to this in today's show note, but it comes with a free download. And the download is the 7 steps to creating your ideal client avatar checklist. So it's actually a step-by-step checklist of what to do to get this ideal client really documented so you can start thriving in this area.
And if you haven't yet documented your ideal client avatar, like Michelle said, it's like, well, I know who my client is, I have it in my head, or it's been a while since you revisited this, I encourage you to grab the resource that we've just mentioned that we'll put in the show notes and put in the time. It's a total game changer, and the ripple effect of getting clearer about who you serve pays dividends in terms of more effective ads, sales pages, email marketing, sales calls, webinars, and it can mean higher retention rates, better upsells, and so much more. And as Michelle said, we were just recently working with one of our masterminders to really dial that in because we know the big difference it's going to make to her attracting the right people. And in addition to dialing in your ideal client avatar, the other big thing that can help you make a correction to the quality and the relevance of your leads is to design your marketing backwards. Now, this is a principle Michelle and I, come back to again and again because it is so powerful. And the idea here is for you to start with your ideal client and the offer that you want them to buy, and then reverse engineer your marketing from there. Now, what often happens is people create content for content's sake, and then they wonder why it's attracting the wrong people. Instead, and that's not a slight on anyone. That's just we haven't learned any other way. But we want you to think about it this way: reverse engineer your journey. What is the first small problem that your offer solves? What would your ideal client be Googling or searching for at the start of their journey? And what kind of lead magnet which would naturally lead from free for the lead magnet into your paid offer? And when you design backwards from your offer, you know that your front end content is attracting the right people who will ultimately likely buy what you're selling.
So true. And, we recently had a guest on the show, Dr. Claire Zaman. She was talking about how she has really been able to charge more by getting clearer and clearer about her ideal client, and how she's really kind of been able to revolutionize her business model. And I definitely recommend going and listening to that episode for inspiration around this very thing. And, she's somebody that is a client of mine. And this exact thing happened. We reverse engineered. So instead of just putting out a bunch of content that was useful, but just didn't kind of head somewhere specific, we went, this is the destination we want people to arrive at. This is the right person to arrive at this destination. How are we creating a lead magnet and content at the front end when that first person first hears about us that's going to attract her and not just everybody? Like, she was the bow of our boat and it was the more experienced coach. So, for example, the lead magnet we created was the Charge More Guide. Because if you're an experienced coach, that's a problem you've got right now. I'm already charging, but I'm stuck in this undercharging, over-deliver kind of framework. How do I charge more? That's the prescient problem for her. It's not the problem for the person that's thinking about becoming a coach. We'd have created a different lead magnet if they were the bow of our boat. So you see, right at the front end, when we're paying ads to drive people to that lead magnet, we're getting the woman who is the right woman to come to the webinar and to hear the offer and to come into the back-end programs. And that leads into our final tip for ensuring you attract the right leads right from the start, is to use your content to qualify, not just attract. And this is a complete mindset shift for some of us. This is a game changer because it can be easy, and I think a lot of strategies out there are teaching this, to be focused on just getting more attention, getting more followers, getting more signups. But what really matters is getting the right people's attention. And that means being specific. It means letting your content filter as much as it attracts. The tone, the examples, the stories you tell, the problems you're solving, like that charge more guide example I just gave, they should make your ideal client feel like, oh, this is for me, and allow those wrong fit people to go, I'm out of here. This ain't for me. This is, what's she talking about? I don't even like her.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you know, you said this, it is okay to be a little polarizing. Our little hearts might not want that.
Yeah.
But it's helpful, you know. You are not going to appeal to anyone. That's just a given. So don't even try to appeal to everyone. You build resonance with the people who are actually ready and right for what you do. So now you've got 3 things that you can focus on to ensure that you're attracting the right leads. And what we talked about here today was getting crystal clear on your ideal client first and foremost, working backwards from your offer. What is it that I want them to ultimately buy? How do I work backwards from that? And letting your content do the filtering for you, which is just genius. And as Michelle said, total mind shift, total game changer. And when you do, that's when you start building a business that flows with leads who are ready, they're responsive, and they're right for what you offer. Now, we have shared a bunch of resources. We've referenced a few other episodes of the show and links and things that we want you to have. And shortly, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to all of those. But first, I want to do a shout out to Evelina Kagan, and she's from evelinacreative.com, and she's a high conversion copywriter. She helps fashion entrepreneurs specifically make more money with their content. Love a niche, Evelina. Evelina knows who her client is. And she said, hi, Suzi. I'm a big fan of the Content Sells podcast. Your episode on how to craft an offer that sells was packed with so many great takeaways. Clear messaging is everything when it comes to conversions, and you broke it down so well. So thank you, Evelina, from me and Michelle. And if you enjoyed this episode or any episode of the show, we would love it if you also gave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. We already have over 100 5-star reviews, and we return the favor by giving your business a shout out right here on the show. Now, we mentioned that there are resources available for you. They're over on the show notes page. You're going to find those show notes at herbusiness.com/write leads, RIGHT leads, all one word, herbusiness.com/write leads. We have another great episode coming up. Michelle, do you want to give us a sneak peek?
I'm really, really looking forward to this conversation with you. We are going to be talking about how to say the thing you've been afraid to say in your marketing and why it changes everything. And this is a subject close to both our hearts. It's a real growth edge, I think, for all of us as business owners, as communicators, as thought leaders. And I'm really looking forward to talking about that with you.
I am so excited. I think for us, especially as women, being heard, getting our message out there, being unapologetic in the things that we say in our marketing, so important. So that is coming up in the next episode. If you are new to the show, you don't already subscribe, then click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Michelle, anything you want to say before we go?
I've loved today's conversation too. And I hope that, you know, as people are listening, you're kind of zeroing in on a couple of real practical things you can take away. Like maybe there are some things you can do right now to just hone who that ideal client is, to attract those leads who just want to buy from you. We want you to sell more stuff. So good luck with attracting the right leads.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Content Sells podcast. Bye for now.